Bigbo Quest contains profane language, extreme violence, drug/alcohol use, and suggestive content. You have been warned.
The recording has started.
The recording has begun. Strap on in for the recording.
It just gives it the same energy as
the nozzle.
Low battery.
Oh, low battery, yeah.
Did we catch a dastardly little pixie?
It was just taking a second to load, and I got really excited about it.
Yeah, quite excited.
My name is Ryan DeGraw, and I'll be your DM for this campaign of Bigbo Quest. For this story, we're going to be playing a heavily modified version of SuperTry Studios Space Kings. It's an incredibly fun and easy-to-learn tabletop system that uses cards in place of dice, and I urge you to visit spacekings.space to check it out and listen to the podcast Pretend Friends for a very funny and helpful example of how to play it. That said, for our show, I have fucked this game way up with modifiers on the rules. We'll be playing a fantasy version of Space Kings, where players will be using both cards and dice to interact with the world around them. The cards determine their success on the actions they take, while the dice will be used for things like calculating damage or what loot they get on a loot table. Other additions include armor points to further protect the players, attack bonuses based on the player's primary weapon, a magical event table like a D&D Wild Magic, and an elemental magic system where each player begins with the ability to channel wind, water, fire, or earth. If a less chaotic version of this sounds appealing to you, SuperTry is still developing the Space Kings fantasy equivalent Fantasy Hour. The entire second season of the aforementioned podcast, Pretend Friends, is set in this system, and it serves as a great showcase for that upcoming game. We decided not to try and play or emulate Fantasy Hour because what we're doing is an abomination. Last year, my friends and I began our Bigbo Quest campaign, and we had a ton of fun with it. However, we were unable to record with our first session, and as we continued, their wandering around only grew funnier, and I only regretted not being able to share it more. In the last session we played, I came to an important realization, though. The players had no fucking idea what was actually going on in the world, and they hadn't uncovered any spoilers, so with that realization, we decided to start from the top and begin logging this story. As a result of our unusual circumstances, the players may be inexplicably familiar with their environment and some NPCs, but the major events will truly unravel for them and you, the listener, at the same time. Our story takes place in the mysterious land of Bingisburg, where at the map center there is a spire vanishing into the clouds, growing upwards into the sky. As it continues, it creates new bedrooms within itself, and from each of them, a new adventure is born into the world as an adult. That is where our player characters are going to come from, so they don't really have a home other than their magical tower. All of the characters begin with a Farstone, which is the fantasy equivalent of a cell phone, and they have access to all of the information available at bingisburg.card.co. If you want to look at that, it's BINGUSBURG.card with 2 R's.co. This is all of the public information that the characters would have available to them, even without having to do any sort of history checks. Joining me after the break are my co-hosts Brian and Zac, and they're going to tell us about who we'll be following throughout our story.
I don't like that we both have a mastery in firearms.
Well, I'm a swashbuckling scallywag. Like, I gotta have a mastery in firearms.
I don't want to say too much about my boy, but my mastery in firearms is going to be a little scary.
I can't get over this character. He can never die.
Graybeard.
Jim Face Crusher is still probably the funniest fucking character I think I've ever come up with.
I'm very fond of Jim Face Crusher. If Wolfsbane dies, Jim's story begins anew. That doesn't mean I'm going to try and kill Wolfsbane, but... Hello, I am joined by Brian Wagner and Zac Andrews.
That's me.
Who are going to play the most human of any of these playable characters.
Indeed, I am a human.
Yes. I've gathered them here today digitally. I have stolen them from wherever they were and taken them into this quantum space to ask them about their characters in Bigbo Quest, the upcoming blockbuster film. Which one of you dipshits wants to go first?
Oh, I feel like let me go first because I feel like Zac has the star of the show for this session, in my opinion.
I don't know about that, but
We got two contenders to steal the show.
I love that we have two contenders. He's one possible star of the show out of two.
But I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm going to be piloting. I feel like I can't say play. I'm going to be piloting and soul bonding with the character Graybeard the Gallows.
Graybeard the Gallows, a pirate gentleman.
A pirate to be, a pirate indeed.
And I understand he is a wind elemental gentleman.
Oh God, what was it? He's
a wind-weaving scallywag.
That's it. It's the wind-weaving scallywag. He sails the seven seas, the seven air seas. They're two separate seas.
Yes, of course.
He's always got the wind behind his back. He is always smoking and strapped up. And
One second. Gwen is attacking this chair like it is a longtime enemy. Okay, you're clear. Sorry about that.
Gwen knows what sort of horrors that Graybeard the Gallows can do. But yeah, he's just a pirate lad who does not care for anything really but himself. He's good with guns. He's good with swords. He's a great pilot. I mean, any pirate has to be able to pilot a ship there.
Yeah. Did Graybeard do anything with his first morning alone? As all your characters will, I say all, there too. All of your characters wake up within the spire, but you have some time to yourself. Is there anything you wish to have your character do initially?
I feel like, Graybeard's getting up out of his bed. He's like hungover. I don't know how possible that is. He was born hungover.
That's absolutely possible.
He may have been drunk in the middle of creation, but definitely born hungover and is grasping at a lot of things. He's kind of just trying to get his bearings and not lose his insides in the inside of this room.
I'm gonna say also, aesthetically, your room, I think it has some stalactites that are just kind of dripping
rum.
I'd say rum, yeah. I was just gonna say in general hair of the dog, but because as every morning you will need it. Zachary, are you present in class today?
Yeah.
Zach, I have some questions for you about your Bigbo quest you will be going on. Who will you be?
So, I don't know his last name yet. His first name is Jerry.
What?
But he goes by Wolfsbane Nightfucker.
Huh.
He's just your...
Is that sort of...
He's just your average teenager, likes all things black. Ironically, I accidentally dressed like him today with my black and gray striped shirt. So, yeah,
So my question is, Wolfsbane kind of a name that maybe he only uses for long distance communication, like letters, and maybe he doesn't actually think to tell people to call him that, other than like maybe if there was like in the center of town, someone like posts a bunch of their thoughts and makes like a public like forum, maybe he goes by Wolfsbane there.
Oh no, he needs everyone to know that he is truly.
Okay. I had to figure out what the fantasy equivalent of a username was. What magical element does Wolfsbane produce?
He is 100% a fire boy.
He's a cool, tough fire boy.
Mm-hmm. He watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he's like, man, Zuko and Shadow are just like the two coolest things on the planet.
I love it. Wait. He watched Avatar, which, so to skip forward, what did he do for his morning? Apparently, he watched every episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender in the span of 2 hours. So sped up so he could get through it.
And played Shadow the Hedgehog.
I don't think he played Shadow the Hedgehog. I think he was born with the image of Shadow the Hedgehog just in there, just up in the noggin. Perfectly clear. Actually, it's fun. It's funny you mentioned that, because when we started this campaign in our previous playthrough that we've decided to reset, we decided to name the episodes by rolling a 362-sided die, I think, to name each episode after one of the possible 300 plus endings of Shadow the Hedgehog. So I guess that tradition will carry on through Wolfsbane's essence.
But yeah, if I can describe his room.
Yeah, go for it. I would love to hear.
There's an oversized bed that he does not sleep in. Mm-hmm. Because he has a human-sized dog bed over in the corner. So it's much like a normal room, just everything is bigger so he can really feel like the dog that he is.
Yeah, like he is human-sized, but he wants... Okay, I see. So it seems like these two beautiful gentlemen will have a fantastic time being spit into this world. No, you guys had not really uncovered the start of the story other than being told the initial mission and then wandering off and doing one of the dungeons without any major plot revelation or anything like that.
I went on a quest for a clown.
Yeah, by the second episode, it was about Brian hunting down a clown. Like, we did not stay on the critical path. I don't know that we're gonna stay on the critical path, but we're not gonna. We will be going through this.
I made a pact with an unknowable terror.
Yes, you did. Well, let's talk about our old journeys, because they will come up. That's a threat. Pretty much every game I've DM'd that we've played, I will in some way include it in here.
I'm so scared of you throwing Jim at me.
So that's the one I don't want to do, because if Wolfsbane Nightfucker, God forbid, were to pass from this world, then maybe you could play as Jim Face Crusher. Oh god, so the first campaign I took you guys through was an interesting situation because Brian and some of our friends were playing separately, and Zac actually at the time, it was just him and I hanging out, and he wanted to play, so I DM'd just him with his NPC companion 2210. And then we got to a session where it was like, oh, you guys are at the same point in the like campaign. And then when we started, I just like clapped my hands and said, both of your stories have merged and everything has always been like this. And then you guys are like, oh, hey, Zac. Oh, we lost you in here. We lost you in the hall.
It never got addressed either.
No, my favorite thing is that never got addressed, and then you and I, Zac, quickly became 2210's stepdads.
Yeah, not that you quickly became. You just always were. So 2210, as you will meet later, is a little robot that looks like a toy. He's a very large plastic gentleman, and he's gonna appear in every fucking thing that I do until I die.
He's a beautiful son.
He really became. He didn't. I feel like he's become the mascot of our life. Like he is
a little bit, yeah. He's right next to me. Actually, he's at my knee right now.
Give him a little smooch for me.
One second. Let me reach down and give you a little smooch. Let me smooch this old plastic.
Actually, I feel like in the spirit of this, can you give him a swift backhand to the?
Yeah, let me just
Oh, okay. So I'm going to be sick and injured. Good. Dear God. I took you guys to a asteroid that you were on that every single day was repeating.
About that, I want to mention to the point of was it the executioner or was it one of the guys who just knew that it was going to reset?
You're talking about Floyd McRoyd. He was the pastor at the church,
yes.
And he just was very aware of the cycle. Every single day, a meteor would fall, and it would directly hit him. And if any of the players tried to prevent him from getting there, he would grow erratic. I need to be on my walk right now. So we had a story that they adopted their son. They went to a casino.
We robbed a gas station.
They robbed a gas station. They broke into a man's home, and they were trying to assassinate him. The man had a bunch of mirrors around his home so he could shoot the lasers from his blaster at whatever angle he wanted, and that surprisingly didn't kill you guys. And then you took your son to college, where you realized you'd have to get a summer job to help fund his college tuition, and you brought a mutant army of shrimp to life, which you then stormed the college with armed shrimp, which I did let the shrimp just have assault rifles.
They mutated with them.
Yeah, exactly. Our first journey was fun, and I believe there was a move or something happened, and we did not get back to that. It was meant to be a short campaign, and I believe after that was Kids Corner, right?
I believe so. We did a few one-offs.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I don't think I ever got to, because of things going on, into a Kids Corner.
You did. You were actually you were on every single episode of Kids Corner.
Was I?
Yes.
Yeah. It was only one person.
There are 2 episodes. We played a few one-offs, then I made a game. I had not seen the show Stranger Things at this point, and I feel like maybe when I watched Stranger Things, I was like, well, fuck, maybe I should figure out something else to do. But we made a series. Well, we recorded 2 episodes of it. Maybe if eventually I'll put them on a Patreon thing if anyone says to me, hey, I would pay $2 American for that. But we made Kids Corner, which they were meant to specifically play children characters. Each character had a mount, i.e. a skateboard, bicycle, and it was a monster of the
pogo
week,
stick.
or pogo stick. And it was a monster of the week type game, so we started out having them... No, I don't even...
Hold on, let me...
Bitch, it's legal. Hold the fuck on. Brian, tell them what you did.
We had come up with a custom table for me to roll because we had a D30. Thought it would be funny. One of those results was getting a gun. So of course, this teacher's like, well, I can't have this child have a gun. And me being the chaotic character that I was playing at the time was like, I'm not losing this gun. So I just blew this teacher's head off.
You really did. No, I'd like to explain. I need to elaborate on one certain part of this exact moment in the campaign, which is insane to me, because I made the adults like a joke if you were going to ever try and combat them. They all had like 99 and everything, and Brian had to roll a d20.
Wait, no, that was, I think...
She rolled a d20 to save. And she could, if she rolled a 1 or a 2, then she didn't stop you. Every other option on the die, she would grab the gun out of your hand and be like, hey, what the fuck? And the success would have come from you not getting arrested from that. No, instead, this lady rolled a 2, and Brian killed what I basically made an immortal being as the first act of the game. And not even just that mechanically, story-wise, I had to now explain how they were going to go off and do a monster hunting adventure.
Oh God! All I could think of is the second thing that happened on there, just to clarify. Mm-hmm. So then, mind you, after this teacher dies, the bell rings to dismiss the class. Like I could have just left it at that and not tried to kill this teacher. As we're leaving, a security guard pops up. I think at this point, Ryan, you were just so defeated, you didn't know what to do, so you're just like, Brian, roll a d20.
And what happened, Brian?
I rolled a natural 20.
Yes, you did. So there were, there were 2 insane rolls that just shifted the narrative completely to the point where I had to write the story. I had to figure out what it was actually going to be. I wrote an ending, and then about like 2 weeks pass, and I realize it's the Maze Runner. And so then I was like, all right, new story.
My favorite thing on all of that was that happened within the span of I think the span of 10 minutes. And we just had to stop for a good 2 minutes to breathe after that.
At some point that audio will be available if you actually want to hear it. I definitely still have it. Oh, hey,
we did kind of skip over a few things.
We skipped over I think one of the funniest fucking things that's ever happened. When back in Kids Corner, there was the time that actual adult Brian walked up on this party of children, and you guys murdered him.
Oh,
and yeah. And you took his wallet, and you asked me, hey Ryan, what does Brian have in his wallet? And I said, well, you can answer that best for me. And you looked in your actual wallet and told me what you got.
The most important thing from that doubly fucked up was not only did we kill me in this tabletop, my character did in fact skin my body, put his skin onto mine, and took his wallet, went to a store to go and buy a copy of Cory in the House for DS, but ID was required.
You stole his identity. Bill committed a lot of crimes.
That game was just crime fest throughout the whole...
We had a beautiful time in Kids Corner. Then, after that, came Bigbo Quest. And at first, the idea was for it to be our fantasy game for us to play, equivalent to Space Kings, because Space Kings is one of the most fun fucking tabletop games I've ever played. Bigbo Quest started out just basically a Space King sheet, but we didn't have the elemental magic system that we're going to be using. We literally just had a magic stat, and if you had 4 stats, you could go I'm going to try and blow up the fucking world. And I was like, give me 8 successes and you can. The idea was I wanted to make a world, but not a map we had to conform to. We had just this ever-changing world around the lands. But then we had our most recent campaign where I did actually come up with an established map. And by an established map, I mean a Game Boy Color video game map. But I made a 9-quadrant grid with these different, I guess, realms. I guess we're going to call them realms.
The realm.
and we decided that we would play it, and the goal was to record it, but at the time, I was living with my brother and his girlfriend, and having roommates, we couldn't record it really because we played out in the living room in like the common area. So we decided to play an episode, and Zach came up with a character that I was so drawn to that even though the goal was basically for these characters to die before we start the real story, he had to be the one that survived and made it into. Yeah. Tell me about him.
He's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful son of a bitch. The big ol' hunk of beef himself, Jim Face Crusher, the half orc.
And now don't let his name perturb you. He's quite a friend.
He's so nice. He's so
a great
nice.
guy.
He just won't recognize you.
Yeah, he does suffer from face blindness or face aphasia. He met up with our party. They went to church.
Wait, hold up, real quick.
Yeah.
Something that a very important context to this character that needs to be stated. How did you introduce yourself, Zach, as Jim Face Crusher?
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
never ever did he lead with, "Hey, I have face blindness." Just the straight up hand, just reached out, just like trying to figure out who this person is before he says anything.
And you one thing I loved is it was a coin toss as to whether you were going to lead with or end with the fact that your name was Jim Face Crusher. When you put your giant fucking half-orc hand on their face, all over their face, palmed it like a goddamn football. If Jim returns, let's hope he doesn't, because I want to see the full legend of Wolfsbane Nightfucker. I have.
I don't.
You're right. I don't want to see all of it now that I think about it. I think parts of it should just remain maybe his fantasy that maybe he writes around on the town forum board. I mean, let's just say the wildest things, right? From the last campaign.
Oh, God. Let's see. I convinced a horse that I had a magic piece of gold.
Yeah, Brian convinced a horse that he was able to duplicate gold forever and that this piece would just keep duplicating.
I literally started off the campaign as a skeleton.
Oh yeah, the first thing that happened was you got your magical pull and became a skeleton. Brian, the thing that tripped me up about the coin is that, Brian, you never provided any evidence at all that the coin worked. And I don't even mean like you didn't hold out your hand and show her it like pop into 2 coins. You never even tried to trick her, really.
I just lied.
You just said it. You just said it, and she was like, I think you succeeded quite a bit, because she was like, wow, that's a really good coin.
No, the thing that fucks me up the most is that it was, like, technically wasn't lying, because it did end up turning into 2 coins.
Aquina fell into a pit of nothingness, and was slowly undone, and all that remained was the coin, and then it just started producing an extra coin over and over and over. Well, all of that happened on the quest to find the clown. There's a real gentleman who dressed as Heath Ledger's Joker at MagFest several years in a row, and I have put him in this game.
I miss that guy. I haven't seen him in quite a few years now.
I did add stats for some of the spirits. He is one of those, like, that you can try and summon. But so no real people can be hurt, but with the exception of one, which I definitely gave myself 1 HP, and that because there's a trend of you guys just smiting me at random points in these games.
Yeah.
So with the most recent campaign, let's talk about. Well, we already off microphone talked about Wet Elf Baby and his fate, so let's go ahead and get that on mic. When these gentlemen started the game, I decided to also build a character while they did, and I made a little baby that was an elf baby, definitely like a Baby Yoda situation, hundreds of years old, but still just a baby.
Sweet son.
Yeah. He was a water magician and just kind of had a cradle of water around him. His name was like Death Stranding to I'm the Beach or something. But we ended up referring to him as Wet Elf Baby.
I loved Wet Elf Baby.
Yeah, man, the past tense is fun because I know we ended the campaign, but I think you know why we're really saying this, because one unfortunate day we had a Joker Fest and an arrow ricocheted off of a slime, and I think we need to mention what we did about how this water, specifically this child that you should be protecting, whose element was water, the first choices were to take him to Firetown and the desert.
The fact that we took the volcano was, I don't remember who was the fire elemental in the group, but the two driest places we could drag this poor thing.
And then the incident happened. And you ended up taking him home to the ocean. He got there in the end.
We did fight. We did late.
To be fair, he did pretty well in the heat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Very true. There's one person I don't want to say I haven't been avoiding, but I so with this campaign, like Ryan said, he made a map. His way of handing it out to us as the character was he made a map salesman.
Uh-huh.
I had a pretty good way of lying. So we get to this map sales and he's like, you need any maps? And I'm like, actually, you owe me all the maps. Like, I came by earlier and bought them. And Ryan's like, okay, go ahead and flip for it. I think I flipped a total of like 6 or 8 successes.
Yeah, you went fucking wild.
You just handed me all the maps, and then the map sailor's like, yeah, you got this? He's like, all right. I'm out of business.
Well, so not only that, I gave him the DM maps. I gave him my maps that show where, like, the bosses are on these barren-looking plains. Yeah, he put the guy out of business. I'll warn you, Brian, this is, if anything, this is Bigbo Quest 1.5, and I didn't figure out how to make it so that you don't ruin the map economy. I figured out anything else for him to do.
It gets even better because you updated those maps, and like we saw him like wandering around in the like ruins or something, and he's like, hey, I actually got more maps to sell, and once again lied and been like, oh no, you owe me those maps too.
You hit a crazy success, which was funny because you just fought like a roaming like boss that you did not get many successes on that you really could have used, but then you were like, he was like, oh, I got this new thing, and it was like, oh cool, mine? The one you owe me? He's like, yeah, I guess I did owe you.
It's so beautiful. I can't remember who showed up later that session, but you had him running around like, hey, actually, I owe you these maps too. From the one.
Yeah. Because you said, actually, you owe them to everyone. And so Cater, the satyr, was just running around town handing out maps any idle moment.
I'm so glad I bullied that shop salesman into just giving up his business.
We'll see who you guys bully this time. The bully economy has shifted.
I realized I'm gonna have an enemy already.
Oh.
The cat blacksmith.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh yeah.
From when I was such a good friend from when I turned into a cat.
Uh-huh.
Got all the good deals.
Oh.
But it's gonna throw him for a loop because he's gonna see a human, but Wolfsbane, he's that dog.
He's got that dog in him. Yeah.
He's gonna hate this cat.
So I think like there's a mechanic that you guys did not use once, which you could use every single time you travel or are outside, which you could forage. and I have just a D30, like a list like the loot table, but it's just things like branches and rocks and like shit you can find. But I think if you forage, you could make a fursuit. Have you heard the album Forge Me a Fursuit?
It's my favorite album.
Yeah, it's in the developmental phase right now, but it's pretty fucking good. Well, we will see you guys then. Actually, wait, there's more of the episode. Play a song.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back to begin our campaign on the next episode. If you like the music you're hearing, I actually made the soundtrack for our adventure. Once the story's finished, I'll make the soundtrack available on all the streaming platforms we can, spoilers and all. But in the meantime, for no reason in particular, I'm going to recommend that you go check out the classic Piss Rock album Beauty with a Blemish by neither of you on any music streaming platform. A lot of people are blowing up my blue sky saying it's Zac and I on that album, but that's false, and if I hear you say that again, I'll show up in your home and eat your bones. Good night.
Think about me.